Hey folks, how's it going? So I read Lazarus, and I've been seeing people talk about Lazarus for ever since I got on YouTube. Now, man, people talking about how it was so good and this, that, and the other. But I didn't get on that title whenever it came out for whatever reason. It's an image book. I think at the time I must have been reading um way too many other DC and stuff that it just slipped under my radar because a lot of people that I know really, really like this book. And whenever I went and I ordered my hardcover, uh, everybody at my comic shop was like, "Man, you're not reading that? You know, that's such a great book and all." And I was like, "Well, cool. I'll get the hardcover." And I mean, first of all, this hardcore Lazarus edition. For anybody that has been reading Lazarus, I'd highly recommend this. It was like $30. Well, it was $35. But if you get any kind of discount at your shop or anything, it's about a $30 book. Uh, and it has got a lot of added content in the back of the book. A lot of the family breakdowns and everything, and lines of succession, plus this little calendar down here, timeline that runs through all of the pages in the description that shows you how the whole event went down from like 60 years before the event, um, and all of the families, coming to power and all that type of thing, all the way up until the current where it is in the book or where it is in the story. Tells you who all the Lazarus are, uh, the all of the siblings for families that we haven't been introduced yet. A little bit like, I mean, in the back of Lazarus, I saw that it does kind of the same thing in the sides here, where it gives you these descriptions. But in this hardcover, it gives you all the descriptions and all the families. Uh, it gives you a really awesome map of the world and everything on the way that it all breaks down. It gives you all of these breakdowns of the way that the covers are drawn and how they come about. There's a article about the world building, and that's what I really liked best about this book, was that I thought that Ruka and Lark and the the production design and concepts guy, Eric Troutman, that he apparently does all of the like computer screens and ads and the little things that make this world uh, so awesome. The pop-ups and just things that are in this world that I hadn't really noticed until reading in the back of this how like each of the computer systems and all of that are totally set up with it like a different system depending on uh, you know whether or not you're a waste or uh, you know a serf or family or whatever. Anybody that's not read this book, uh, basic gist of it is that in the not so distant future, seemed like it probably happened about 2025 is when all this went down, but that the world is basically broke down into like 13 families that control certain areas of the world. Uh, they each have a defender. Well, they don't each have a defender because two of the families don't have a Lazarus. Uh, but they have these defenders called Lazarus who are like the heads of their armies. This main story focuses around the Carlisle family and Forever Carlisle, and she can regen, kind of like Deadpool. Kind of makes her like a Terminator war leader, which was freaking sweet. Uh, all of these people are just trained to fight and be like the ultimate warriors, and it's awesome as this book goes on just to kind of see where Forever is coming from and her life and everything, and how she's built up to this point. Uh, Really, in this first like 9 issues that are compiled in this trade, you mainly just focus on the Carlisle family and the Hawk family and a little bit about the Bitters, but not so much the other families. But it really gives you, the Carlyles seem to be the main family in the world. I'm sure that the other families would strongly disagree with that, but at least in this comic, they're the main people. They control like genetics and things like that. Was the reason they came to power, and is the reason that Forever is able to do her regeneration and everything. Um, this book was funny because I actually felt sorry for her brother Jonah, who kind of was kind of a bad guy trying to do bad things, and defected over to the other side. And the way that he was treated, I really kind of felt sorry for the guy. Uh, After the trade, this book's on issue 13, and after the trade, uh, they basically all come to a head and decide that they're going to do this big conclave, at which point we get introduced to other Lazarus, which I thought was really sweet. I really liked this Sonia Bitters, um, the Bitters Lazarus. She's pretty much a badass. Uh, and then when they go to the conclave, we really get introduced to everybody. We had already been introduced to the, what are they called? The Maruri? I don't know, the Central American clan, Moray or whatever they're called. We had already been introduced to this Joaquin character who's their Lazarus. But in the last couple of issues, we've also been introduced to the Soro, the South American people's Lazarus. We've been introduced to the African Lazarus. We've been introduced to the Lai family Asian Lazarus. The what are their names? It's not the Assanges, but the British Lazarus, and that was one of the things that I really liked in this hardcover was one of the last pages uh, in the hardcover is um, an ad for like this 80s video game. The way that this Assange guy made his money was off of this Elf Saga game, which was like some kind of like a castle runner game, and that's how he made his first millions. And they had a little ad in there, a lot of little ads and different stuff that were in stories in there. But yeah, I was really late getting in on this, but it is a tremendous story. Uh, like I say, I loved Greg Rucka when he did the Batwoman Allergy story, and so I know that he can write good, strong females. Uh, Most of the main characters in this book seem to be really strong females, which was awesome. With not wanting to read Wonder Woman or anything anymore, and all of that, it was really nice to find a book that was this good. And yeah, now I guess I'll read Rachel Rising next because I feel like that's the next thing on my list of things that I missed out on that I need to check out. And anyway, about all I got to say about that. And I'm going to get off here and watch Ascension.